Hello Classic Crew, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on motherhood and women in the workplace. So before we get into today's video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can get notified of all my new videos. And if you aren't already subscribed to my Substack newsletter, go ahead and head to classicallyabby.substack.com where you'll get access to exclusive content not available anywhere else. So today I want to work through some thoughts and feelings I've been having since having my miscarriage and since being pregnant again. I have been really changed in the last year by the experiences that I've had in conceiving, losing the baby, and then conceiving again. And it's really impacted the way I've thought about motherhood and the way that I've thought about women in the workplace. And I want to share those thoughts and feelings with you guys because I think that this is a conversation that we could get started, and I'd love to hear your viewpoints on things too. So make sure to leave some comments down below because today I really want to share just how I've been feeling. This isn't meant to be a diatribe. This isn't even necessarily meant to change anyone's minds. But I think these are some interesting topics that we don't necessarily allow ourselves to talk about all that often or all that frequently. And so I like that my channel is a place where we can talk about motherhood, talk about feminism, talk about all of this stuff in a really open way and create a community of women where we feel like we can chat together. And if we disagree, we disagree, and that is okay. So I'm excited to get into today's video, so let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, I had a miscarriage about 6.5 months ago. And when I got pregnant, I remember feeling like the first trimester was so difficult, and I could understand why women didn't like being pregnant. I remember feeling that way. I remember thinking to myself, you know, I understand why women don't like this. It's uncomfortable. I feel sick. I don't love it either. And then I lost my baby. And when I lost my baby, it put so many things into perspective for me. And I would never wish miscarriage on anyone. It is a horrible, horrible thing to go through. The feeling I had afterward, going through this pregnancy, where I'm just grateful that the baby is healthy. And I'm just grateful to have any sort of morning sickness because it means the baby's growing well. That's something unique, I think, to having had a miscarriage. It's a perspective that you're not going to necessarily have if you didn't lose your child. But after the miscarriage, all I wanted in the world was to get pregnant again. And it made me realize how much I wanted to be a mother when it was taken away from me. Of course I knew. Of course I knew I wanted to be a mother. Of course I knew how important that was to me. But as soon as I had a miscarriage, it was so clear that motherhood was what mattered to me. More than anything else. That if I had to give up having a career, that if I had to give up everything else to be a mother, I would 100% do it. I would rather have morning sickness every pregnancy than not have a child. This got me to thinking about motherhood in a lot of ways. One of the things that it got me to think about is that we as women are taught in today's day and age to find our meaning through work and in the workplace. You need to find a job that you are passionate about or that you're successful at, and that's what's gonna make you special. That's what's gonna make you important. That's what's gonna give you purpose. I feel like that's something I definitely felt growing up. I felt like I needed to prove myself and prove my worth through work. I think a lot of women feel this way. I think feminism is a big reason for it. Now, if you don't already know, if you're new to my channel, you should definitely watch some of my videos on feminism because I am not anti-equity feminism. I'm anti-second and third wave, depending on if you've heard of fourth wave feminism. I'm anti that stuff, but I am not anti women having equal rights in the workplace, for example. But the idea that women's worth is outside of the home, that is a concept that I have had to work through. Because ever since the miscarriage, I care most importantly about being a mother. If all I ever do is raise my children and be a homemaker, that would be enough for me. But I would still feel guilty. I would feel like that was small, or like I did something wrong in not embracing my full potential. How sad is that? How sad is that I, even as I know what would make me happy, I feel like I would not have lived up to my true potential if I was just a stay-at-home mom. I think that is such a horrible thing to put on women. We've taken away the beauty of motherhood from women. We've said that your worth is not, it's not in the home. That if you were to only be at home, you'd be giving up on what we've fought so hard for women to be in the workplace. And hey, there are some women who want to be in the workplace. And I do like my work. I'm looking at a mic right now. I do love my work. I love filming. I love editing. I love sharing content with you guys. I love creating a community of women who want to be classic. I love educating and teaching and guiding women to be more classic in today's day and age. But none of that would matter if I couldn't be a mother. And the role of mother is so belittled in our society. We treat motherhood in two ways. We treat it like it's something only a superhero can accomplish, right? We call mothers heroes. We call them superheroes, which takes away how natural it is, how much a part of womanhood it is, how it's just something that we do, right? When I heard that women are superheroes for going through pregnancy and raising children, it made it seem like, well, then why would I do something so hard? As opposed to, this is a natural part of your life that is going to endow your life with meaning. You know, we view motherhood as something so hard and so almost unnatural because it must be if it's that difficult, as opposed to, this is what women do. And this is what is meant for you. So we either view motherhood as only superheroes can do it, or we view motherhood as, well, why wouldn't you leave that to a daycare? Why wouldn't you leave that to a nanny while you work? It puts it in a position of, you are not living up to who you could be. This is something I've been thinking so much about because it's so upsetting to me. I think that motherhood is the best, most important thing any woman can do. And it's part of what makes us women. It's part of what defines us. And it's natural. And we belittle it, or we hold it on such a high pedestal that it seems like a choice that some women make, but it's not really part and parcel of womanhood. It's the most natural thing in the world to want to be a mother and to want to raise children. And we beat ourselves up for it. I know I myself have felt guilty. I shared that already. I've felt guilty for saying, if I'm not a career woman and I just am a mother, what am I really doing? And I know so many women who pursued their careers, they pursued a degree, and then they had children and realized, I want to be with my child. I don't want to go back to work. And they felt horrible. They felt guilty. They felt like they had failed. How crazy, how silly is that? That women feel like they have failed because they want to do the most natural thing in the world, which is mother their children. It makes me sad to think that so many women feel like it's wrong to want motherhood first and foremost. In today's day and age, that's really the fight that we're waging, is for women to be able to take pride in their most natural role as mothers. I think that it's a fundamental God-given purpose for women to have children. And I think that being mothers, being wives, being homemakers, this is a fundamental, this gives us meaning in a way that nothing else does. Now, does that mean that every woman needs to stay at home? No, I don't think so. I think you can pay somebody to clean your house. No one else is gonna like think of you and think of how their mom always cleaned the house. What they'll remember, as my mom likes to say, is who made dinner, who spent time with them, you know, that kind of thing. But I think that women, when they are told that their most important role is outside of the home, is in the workplace, is as an employee, that's when they feel anxious. There's a disconnect between what we're made for and what you're being told you're made for. I think women find their fundamental meaning being mothers and being wives. And that doesn't exclude being in the workplace, but it means putting that in its most important role and recognizing it. And I'm starting to recognize that now, that as, you know, someone who's pregnant with my child, this is what is giving me meaning. This is what is bringing me purpose. My work, I love my work. It's another thing that gives me meaning and purpose. But without children, without being a wife, I would never feel totally fulfilled. And I think that as we take away this fundamental purpose that women are meant to have, we're doing a real disservice to women. We're telling them that their worth is not in what they were meant to do. It's in being in a workplace. And again, work can give you meaning, but it can't be the only thing that gives you meaning. I know that these are controversial thoughts and controversial topics, but they're serious. And I think we need to be having a conversation about them. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is an actual problem I'm trying to solve, which is before you get married, how do you find meaning when you're not married, when you don't have children yet, when you're not a wife and you're not a mother yet? Is there a way to find purpose and fulfillment before those things happen, in work, in community, in your faith, without pigeonholing women into having to pursue that career that they pursued before they were married with children, after they have children? So what I mean is, I know that for me, the things that gave me purpose and meaning before I got married were my opera singing career. And then when I got married, it was being a wife and starting this channel. And then now it's being a mother, being a wife, and doing this stuff, doing my channel and doing Classically Abby. But for the women who, let's say, pursue a high-powered law degree and put a lot of time and effort and money into that degree and then into pursuing a partnership, because that's what's going to give them meaning before they get married. And then they get married, and then they have children. How can we prevent women from beating themselves up for finding more meaning in motherhood than they did in their work before? Is there a way? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about this, because I think that women can and should pursue careers that will bring them meaning when they aren't married, when they don't have children. And if they can proceed with that career without it being detrimental to their life once they're married, then go for it. But being partner at a law firm, as a mother, never being around, being a high-powered doctor, never being around for your kids, I don't think that those choices, the choices that will have to lead you down the path of neglecting your family, neglecting this thing that will bring you joy and that you theoretically would love to do, is to stay home with your kids. I don't think if that career is going to end up bringing you sorrow in the future when you decide that you want to be at home more is a good idea. I think we need to find a way for women to find jobs that bring them purpose and bring them meaning, that will still slot into having a family and will allow them to have the flexibility to make the choice to stay at home if they want to. That's what I think. Because for me, choosing opera before I got married and before I have children, that was honestly not the wisest choice. I knew the kind of lifestyle I wanted, and yet I still pursued a career that would not have been conducive to it. And yes, it brought me meaning and fulfillment while I was pursuing it, but it wasn't going to end up being something that I could really pursue. And it was something that I beat myself up about when I realized it wasn't going to be right for me. So that's where I'm at. These are the things I've been thinking about. I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on all this. I know perhaps it came out in sort of a jumbled way, but I think that there's something here. And I think that this is a conversation I really want to have. So let me know in the comments your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you can get notified of all my new videos. And if you haven't already subscribed to my Substack, make sure you do so. The link is in the description box below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!